Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Wednesday video. I'm Marg. I have a fun card for us to do today, a split front card. I haven't done one in a long time, so we're going to try that. And I have Stampin' Up! News on my desk, so let's go down and have a look. For those of you that are new with me, I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from St. Alberta, Alberta, Canada. And there we go. From Creative Stamping with Marg. Okay, I have a picture of the new catalog cover on my desk here to show you. This is the new Stampin' Up! Catalog that's running May to August. We are now going to have 3 catalogs a year instead of an annual catalog with mini catalogs thrown in. So this is the first one of its kind. And if you are in Canada and you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you would like to get your hands on a catalog, you can contact me. My information is all at the top here, and I will make sure that you get one. Okay, I also have the product of the month. This is April's product of the month. This can be in your hands when you order $100 worth of product through Stampin' Up! You can automatically add this to your order for $5. So this month, April's product of the month is called Eyelet Blooms Die. It is a large die, as you can see there, and you can see the detail of how it cuts. It's very cool. Some of the pieces, you can flip the corners of your flowers up. It's very neat. So if you are ordering and you hit $100, you can add this for $5. Now, this is April's. If you didn't get March's product of the month, it's called Notes of Spring. We are going to use it today, actually. It is still available. Again, you would have to order $100 worth of product to add this for $5. Also, February's product of the month, the Painted Illusions Designer Series paper. You've seen me use it. And I have had a card kit put together that used it. So it is also still available. So if you didn't get it, and you can only have one. So I've already ordered this. I can't order this one again. I've ordered this one. I can't get it again. So you can only have one of each. So that, just for your information, if you're wondering why you can't order something again, they only allow you to have one. Okay, so this is the new one that's just come out. I don't have it yet. So once I get it, we'll use it and have a look at it. I also have the paper pumpkin out here. This is the April paper pumpkin Lakeside Retreat. This is something you have to subscribe to be a paper pumpkin customer. And it comes to your door every month. This one you must subscribe by April the 10th. So you have a couple more days to order this. It looks like a great one. It also coordinates with the Waterside Retreat Suite collection, which is in the new catalog. So that's very exciting. It will coordinate, I think, with the paper that they have for that. So this makes 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. And your classic Stampin' Spot is Peaceful Pine, which is one of our new in colors. So that's another thing to look forward to. Okay, and along with this, you can also purchase the dies that go with April, May, and June's paper pumpkins. They're called Wonderful Scenes Dies Add-ons. The number's 168665, $18, and you would receive these dies that will go with those 3 months of paper pumpkin, April, May, and June. Okay. That's that. What else do I want to tell you? Please check the last chance list. There are lots of great things still on there. And your retiring in colors. The stamp pads are still on there. These are the retiring colors. And there's reinkers, there's blends, cardstock, two-tone cardstock, lots of things still on the last chance list, but once they're gone, they're gone. So these are retiring colors, these ones here. All right. And in our May catalog, we will get 5 new colors. As I just mentioned, Peaceful Pine is one of the colors. Yeah, Peaceful Pine. Okay. Let's see, what else did I want to tell you? I think that's it. Let's get on to our card. I mentioned that it is a split front card, and I am using two of the in colors from 2020. Let's see, 2025, 2027. These ones will retire next year. So Darling Duckling and Timid Tiger, I'm using those. So my card base today, and I've already cut it. This, I'll just hold the pieces up to show you, is Darling Duckling. So my card base is 4 1/4 by 11, and I've scored it at 5 1/2. Then what I want to do is I want to cut it off. This is the front. I'm just going to take this off. So I'm going to cut it. It's going to stand like this, but I'm going to cut it. This is 1 1/2 inches. So once you get your card base, you're going to cut this off. So this is 1 1/2 inches long to the fold. Okay. The piece that you cut off is going to look like this. And then you're going to cut another 1 1/2 inches off of the bottom of that. And this piece, we're going to use all these pieces. The card, if you've seen a split front, it goes like this. And then this piece just goes as a bridge kind of in between. So that's the way I cut it. And those are the pieces that I'm left with. So that's Darling Duckling. I have a piece of white for the inside, which is approximately 4 by 5 1/4. However, I did use the Retiring Textured Notes dies, the largest one, this one right here. So these are leaving us, and they are 21, they're down to 21.50 in the last chance list. So there's something, if you didn't get these are phenomenal. I use them all the time. So this is going to be in the inside of my card like this, okay, to write on. I also decided to step it up a little bit because I have made it different ways, and I will show you some samples, but I've also cut 2 pieces of Timid Tiger, and these pieces are 1 and I should have had this all written down. 1 3/8. I better get my ruler to make sure I'm right, because this is 1 1/2. These pieces are, yes, 1 3/8 by 4, I think, or 4 and, let me measure them, 4 and 1/8. So they're going to go, I'm going to just layer them here because I wanted a little bit of contrast. I didn't want it to be all yellow because the paper I'm using, the Designer Series paper, I'm just going to put this here so you can see it. The Designer Series paper I'm using is this sheet here, the back side of it. There it is. And this comes from Florals in Bloom. Beautiful floral paper. And it is still available. So this is the piece that I'm using here. And those pieces of Designer Series paper are 1 1/4 by 4. So they are going to be layered onto our orange Timid Tiger pieces just to give them a little extra edge. I liked the look of that. Top and bottom. So the one goes up here. Okay, I'll just move them out of the way. And I wanted something else on the front, but I just didn't want another piece of Timid Tiger. So I went to a different package of paper to find some Timid Tiger. And this is from Splash of Sparkles, Designer Series paper. And the back side of this was the Timid Tiger. So I cut a piece and I ran it through the Stone and Vine embossing folder. That looks like that. And so the piece looks like this. And because it's Designer Series paper, it's not two-tone, but it is already, you can see white showing through because it's so thin. And this is a really deep embossing folder, but I still like the look of it. So I'm going to place it there. And it just gives it a little more character, I think. And then you're going to need something to do your greeting on. So I used the Spotlight on Nature dies. So this one here, which is, these are great dies. They have two groups, and I use this one right here. So it's approximately 2 3/4 diameter. And I've already stamped on it. And I stamped from, I told you we were going to use the Notes of Spring stamps. This is the product of the month for March, and you can see I've got it marked there just so I keep track of it. I stamped on it especially for you in the Timid Tiger, the bottom there, and that's going to go right on the front. All right, and we're going to do some more stamping, which I don't normally do, but I am stamping with you today. But let's get this card put together. And I will show you another example. I know last week I made a baby card to demonstrate the card that I made, and I have another baby card. And this one could actually be used as a baby card too, even though it just says especially for you on it. Doesn't really say it's for a baby, but I think it could be. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to glue my pieces of Designer Series paper onto my Timid Tiger pieces. I'll just flip them over and get my liquid glue going here. And we'll get those put on. For those of you that celebrated Easter last weekend, I hope you had a good weekend. Was kind of cold and windy here, but it was nice enough that we were able to at least be with our families, thankfully, and we enjoyed a good Easter dinner. All right, get that glue on there and put them onto here. I have to be careful. You see I've got glue on my silicone mat already. I'll just do that. And I'm going to put this on here. And you can see the way I cut that paper. The paper, you know, typically would have gone like this on this side, directional. But it doesn't really matter. So I tipped it this way because I liked the dots going up and down, but you can choose whatever you like. And this just has a little edge on it, just so that you can see that Timid Tiger peeking out. I liked the look of that against the yellow, against the Darling Duckling. I think that really kind of brought the paper out. So we can glue that right on there too. And these are your top and bottom pieces. Sorry, I'm going to get another glue because this is what I did last week and the glue was not flowing and gets to be frustrating. Let's hope this one works a bit better. This is a newer bottle of glue and we're probably in the same boat by the looks of it. I don't know why it sort of clogs itself up in the end here. I always have a pin in the ready to clear it up, but it is frustrating sometimes when I can't make it work, especially on the videos. There we go. That looks better. Get that glued onto there. So again, this just is a just gives it a little more contrast, I thought, when I added the Timid Tiger piece behind. Now, I have another sample to show you, and I didn't add an extra piece behind, and it's fine. Not a problem, but I did like the look of this because I wanted to kind of pull out that Timid Tiger color in the Designer Series paper. Okay, let's move this, and so one of them is getting glued here. I will do that now. So I can put it right on there. And the other one, of course, is going to be our bottom. And I'll show you what I found was the easiest way to make this work, because it sometimes feels like you have to have another set of hands help you get these cards put together, because this piece, it's just loose, and we want it to be right at the bottom here, just like that. And whoops, see, my fingers are sticking to it. And then I'm going to stick this on. So let's put this piece of Designer Series paper, there's the other side of that one. Going to put it onto here. If I can make my glue run, honestly. Just does not want to run for me today. I don't know why. That's so clogged up, but so be it. Honestly, I don't usually have this much trouble with my glue, but oh dear. You guys are saying every week, Marg, you have trouble with your glue. And this doesn't really have a pattern, or a direction. Definitely has a pattern, but there we go. And this piece was 2¼ by 4. And if you wanted to do your stamping on this piece, you could have made this white and done your stamping right on it. But I am choosing to use something else to put on top. Okay, so now putting this together, I definitely will use my grid paper. And I need to clean my fingers off because they're very sticky. I do have a cloth here. There we go. Okay, so what I do with this, that I found the easiest way, because you've got to hold this in place and you've got to glue this on here, so it's a bit tricky. So I decided if you have the reverse tweezers that Stampin' Up! Sells, that would work. It goes with your embossing kit. But I just used one of these little clips to hold that in place so that I know it's even at the bottom, not going anywhere. And then I want to put this on, and I want to put it on in the middle. You can put it to the side if you like. We could do that today. Just I have to make sure that I can get this on there. Yep. You just have to remember that you can see the white. This white is going to be in the back here, and you can see that. So when you're writing your message, you kind of want to write your message behind this. I think I will just put it in the middle. So what I'm looking at is about a finger width of glue, top and bottom, so not very much. And my glue. Oh my, I have a couple more bottles. I might have to go to something else. Okay, now it's coming out. Okay, let's make a go of it here quickly while it's still running. And like I said, this doesn't really have a direction, so it doesn't really matter how it goes. So now I'm just going to put it like this, and I'm going to try to put it in, center it, side to side, top to bottom. Then I'm putting about the same amount at the top as the bottom, and side to side. Oops, yeah, there you go. Now sticking to my fingers, and now I'm moving it, you see? Just want to make sure that it's in the right spot. Okay, there we go. I think that looks okay. All right, and that held that in place, which helps when you're, now I'm thinking it does look a little crooked, so I'm just adjusting it a bit better. Okay, I think that's fine. All right, so this little clip helped hold that. So now that's what you have. So your card can stand like that. Okay, that's all that's, the hardest part is getting that glued on, I think, so that it will stay straight and even. We can glue this in. I'm not doing anything on the inside of this because, like I said, I sort of was thinking I wanted this to be a baby card, but I'm not 100% certain. So when it says especially for you, it could be a birthday card, which it could be a thank you card. So in the notes of spring, we have, especially for you, a little note of thanks, happiest birthday wishes. So you see, I could use either of those two to put on the inside here, and we'd be all set. But I could make it into a baby card, and if I do that, I have to dig for some other greeting because I don't have a current baby stamp, which I think I told you last week when I was making the baby card. I didn't have anything current. So I had to dig in my retired product, but that's all right. I like to use what I have, and I encourage you to do the same. And if you're like me, you've kept a lot of sets that have baby sentiments, a lot of sets that have Easter, sympathy. I have a lot of older sets with all those things, but I do use them, and I keep them for that reason. Okay, so there's our card. So that's what it looks like in the front. And like I said, it stands like that. And then I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to do some stamping on this first from the Notes of Spring. So I'm going to set this to the side, and I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Pierce mat so that I get a good, because these are photopolymer stamps. I'm going to use, I'm calling him a goose. I'm not sure. I think he's a goose, but he could be a duck, I guess. And what I found when I stamped him, I used Darling Duckling, and I stamped the out. This is the outer design, like his outline. I stamped him full strength, and I'm just going to stamp him on here. And hopefully I get him on here kind of straight. I'm going to put him sort of to the side, just like that. So this is full strength Darling Duckling. So he looks, and he looks perfectly fine just like that. You wouldn't have to color them in. However, these stamps they're two-step stamps and they have the inner part. So what I did with him was I inked it up, same, but I stamped it off once. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter than the outline. And then putting this on, I just hope that I'm going to get it on kind of straight. Remember that these are sort of watercolorish. Make them look like watercolors. Now I think he turned out really cute. If you had a blend, you could color in his beak if you wanted. I'm not worrying about it. His feet are already colored in with the stamp, but I'm not worrying about his beak. And I'm just going to place it on my card like that. And I think he's adorable. Okay, so that was my thinking for that. I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. You can see that the circle doesn't overlap too much, so you can, I like to just flip it over like that so I can look at it, and then I put my dimensionals on accordingly. So I will put, I think we'll put them around the outside like this, just like that. Take your backings off, and then you can put them on. You can use ribbon to embellish that. This card, I didn't have ribbon that I liked with it, or for it, sorry. So I just pulled in these In Color Flat Pearls 2025, 2027. And I'm thinking, you know what, I might put it down a little bit, just for interest's sake. And try not to stick it down till you're sure that's where you want it. I want to make sure he's straight. I think that looks okay. So press him down like that, and we'll take some, I take your pick tool and put some gems on here. I think I will use the Timid Tiger just because I'll bring out the orange here. How about like this? There's three different sizes of these. So I will put them on just like this, I think. And then you still have lots of room to write on the inside. The only thing I want to caution you a bit is if you're putting a greeting, you kind of want it to fit behind here or be hidden underneath the top or the bottom so that you don't see it here when the card is closed. So I will show you my other card that I made out of, well, it's not retired paper, but it came from the same pack that I got the Timid Tiger from, the Splash of Sparkles. So this was the card I made. Last week I made a bubble bath card, and I thought, it has blue on it, but I thought, oh, it's pretty much going to go to a girl. So I thought I'll do this one in blue. So I used Azure Afternoon for the card base, 2 different Designer Series papers, and I put this one through a embossing folder. This label is a retired label, but I did use the bunny that comes from Notes of Spring, and I used him in Crumb Cake this time. And the greeting is a retired greeting, and the same with the inside. The greeting is retired, but you can see how I put it so that it's hidden behind that, so you don't see it on the sides. So that's my other card. I think they turned out really cute. There's something different. You don't see these all that often, but I thought, I haven't done one in a while, and I thought I'd give it a go. So there we have those 2 cards for today. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, I really appreciate your thumbs up. And any comments you have, I try to address them. And again, if you need a catalog, you can contact me. And I think that's it for today. And I hope you all have a good week. I'll see you next week.